Welcome to Ping 24 Updates. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. February 11, 2013 began quietly in Lahad Datu, Sabah. Fishermen set out, villagers worked, and the air was calm, until it wasn't. Unbeknownst to locals, around 200 armed men, followers of the self-proclaimed Sultan of Sulu, Jamalul Kiram III, landed on the coast. They called themselves the Royal Security Forces of the Sultanate of Sulu and North Borneo, claiming ancestral rights to the land. Dressed in a mix of fatigues and traditional garb, they fortified a camp in Kampung Tanduo and declared they had come home. Confusion reigned as authorities tried to assess the threat. Were they militants or something else? Malaysian police and military quickly surrounded the area, and tense negotiations began. The world watched as a centuries-old claim erupted into a modern standoff. The invaders, led by Agbimuddin Kiram, refused to leave, citing a historical injustice, that Sabah was only ever leased, not ceded to the British. For locals, fear replaced routine. Schools closed, businesses shuttered, and families fled. The standoff dragged on, tension mounting with each day. It was more than a military crisis. It was a clash of identities and histories. On one side, Malaysia defending its sovereignty. On the other, a sultanate seeking recognition. Villagers were caught in the crossfire, their lives upended by a conflict rooted in the past. The siege of Lahad Datu was a brutal awakening, forcing Malaysia to confront a dormant territorial dispute. The peace of Sabah was shattered, replaced by uncertainty and fear. The world was reminded old claims never truly die. They wait for a moment to return. The events in Lahad Datu would leave scars, both visible and unseen. Sabah's story had entered a new, turbulent chapter. Weeks of negotiation ended in violence on March 1, 2013. The first shots rang out. 2 Malaysian police commandos were killed. The next day, an ambush in Semporna claimed 6 more officers. The hope for a peaceful solution vanished. Malaysia launched Operation Dolat. Jets bombed militant camps. Ground troops moved in. Lahad Datu became a war zone, its peaceful landscape transformed by gunfire and explosions. Civilians huddled in evacuation centers, praying for safety. The fighting lasted weeks, with sporadic but fierce clashes. Dozens died, Malaysian security forces and Sulu fighters alike. The incursion was crushed, but the trauma lingered. The psychological scars ran deep, exposing Sabah's vulnerability. Security was tightened. ESCOM was established to guard the coast. The event strained relations, especially with Sabah's large Filipino migrant community. Ordinary people paid the highest price, their lives forever changed. The Lahad Datu siege was a stark reminder unresolved history can erupt into modern tragedy. Sabah's sense of security would never be the same. Sabah, the land below the wind, is a place of breathtaking contrasts. Its rainforests, among the world's oldest, are crowned by Mount Kinabalu, sacred to the Kadazan Dusun. The coastline dazzles with white sands and turquoise waters. Sipadan Island is a diver's paradise. Natural resources like timber, palm oil, and petroleum drive the economy, while tourism sustains thousands. But Sabah's true wealth is its people, a mosaic of over 30 ethnic groups, including Kadazan Dusun, Bajau, and Marut. Cultures blend in festivals and daily life, creating a unique, harmonious society. Yet prosperity brings challenges: illegal exploitation, porous borders, and security threats. The same coastline that welcomes tourists also allows militants and migrants to slip through. Balancing development, conservation, and security is Sabah's ongoing struggle. Its people are proud, resilient, and deeply connected to their land. But the beauty of Sabah is shadowed by the risks that come with its riches. To understand the Sabah dispute, we must look back to the era of sultanates and colonial ambition. For centuries, northern Borneo was contested by Brunei and Sulu, powerful maritime empires. In 1658, Brunei's sultan, aided by Sulu in a civil war, rewarded Sulu with North Borneo, today's Sabah. This gift became the foundation of the Sulu Sultanate's claim. The 19th century brought European powers, Britain, Spain, and the Dutch, vying for control. In 1878, the Sultan of Sulu signed an agreement with a British syndicate, granting rights to North Borneo for an annual payment. This document is the heart of the dispute. Was it a lease or a cession? The British North Borneo Chartered Company took over, then the British Crown. For Britain, it was a permanent transfer. For Sulu's heirs, only a lease. This disagreement over a single document set the stage for a conflict that would outlast empires. The meaning of that 1878 deal still fuels the Sabah question today. History's shadows linger in every claim. The Sabah dispute hinges on one word in the 1878 agreement, pajak. In modern Malay, pajak means lease or rent, fueling the Philippine claim that Sabah was never ceded, only leased. They argue sovereignty remained with Sulu, and the British, and later Malaysia, were mere tenants. Malaysia counters that pajak also meant cession in 19th century context, and other clauses grant full sovereignty. The annual payment, Malaysia says, was a cession fee, not rent. Conflicting translations, Malay, English, Spanish, add to the confusion. Was it a lease or a sale? Both sides find support in the text. More than 140 years later, the true intent remains lost in translation. This ambiguity keeps the legal battle alive. The 1878 document is both a bridge and a barrier, never fully resolved. The Philippines' claim to Sabah is rooted in history and national pride. They argue Sulu's sovereignty, the 1878 lease, and succession of rights make Malaysia's presence illegitimate. Maps, textbooks, and official statements keep the claim alive. Malaysia, meanwhile, insists Sabah is a sovereign state by self-determination. The 1963 UN-backed process, they argue, gave Sabahans the right to choose, and they chose Malaysia. For Malaysia, the case is closed. For the Philippines, it's unfinished business. The dispute is a diplomatic standoff, with neither side willing to yield. Malaysia refuses international arbitration, citing the will of Sabah's people. The Sultanate's legacy and colonial history collide with modern law and identity. The question remains unresolved, fueling tension between neighbors. As the British Empire faded, North Borneo's future was debated. The proposal joined Malaya, Sarawak, and Singapore to form Malaysia. The Philippines and Indonesia objected, citing colonial injustice and territorial claims. The UN sent the cobbled commission to gauge public opinion. Not a simple vote, but a thorough assessment. The findings: a clear majority supported joining Malaysia, some with conditions. The UN endorsed the result, and on September 16, 1963, Malaysia was born with Sabah as a founding state. For Malaysia, this act of self-determination is the ultimate answer to the dispute. The people of Sabah chose their future, and the world recognized it. Malaysia's defense rests on this democratic choice. The referendum remains the cornerstone of Sabah's place in Malaysia. The border between Sabah and the southern Philippines is a recent invention. For centuries, the Sulu Sea connected communities, Bajau, Sama, Suluk, across both shores. Today, migration continues, driven by poverty and conflict in the southern Philippines. Filipino migrants, legal and undocumented, are vital to Sabah's economy, but often live in the shadows. This creates social tension and strains public services. The porous border also allows criminal groups to operate. Kidnappings and cross-border raids are real threats. The 2013 Lahad Datu incursion was the most dramatic, but not the only example. Authorities must balance humanitarian needs with security. For many, daily life is shaped more by family ties and survival than by distant political disputes. The border is both a lifeline and a fault line. Who truly owns Sabah? Malaysia, the Philippines, or someone else? The real answer lies with the people who call Sabah home. The Kadazan Dusun, Bajau, Murut, Chinese, and many more. Their lives, histories, and futures are at stake, not just legal arguments or old treaties. Most Sabahans identify as Malaysians, proud of their unique heritage but firmly part of the Federation. The idea of joining the Philippines is unthinkable for most. Their concerns are practical: jobs, education, security, and development. They want autonomy and a fair share of Sabah's wealth, not political upheaval. The future should be decided by the people, not by distant capitals or ancient documents. The true story of Sabah is about its people, resilient, diverse, and determined to shape their own destiny. Their voices deserve to be heard above all else.